everyone. Welcome to Cultivate Weekly. We're so glad that you can join us every week here. Stephanie and I are always totally game for some fun, etc., etc. And today we are going to be diving into a system that you can use to help you capture events, capture your day, capture the conferences that you're going to, even just these moments in life that you want to have a better hold. You want to live in the moment and be able to create the content after the fact. And so this is a system for you to start to grab the little parts that you need to be able to build it after you end your time. So we're gonna kick it off today. First off, my name is Elizabeth Doss, and I am a social media content creator as well as a consultant. I help people with animated GIFs, all of the things. But today we are going to be jumping into this. So I'm going to hand things over to Stephanie to get us started today as I drop my phone.
Well, listen, like we said, we like to have a little fun. We're not perfect. This is real life. This is the stuff that we deal with. And I'm not caffeinated yet, hoping I hear beans being, grind in the other room. So that will come. But welcome everyone. I'm Stephanie Gillis Palgard. I'm the other half of Cultivate. I am also the founder and chief strategist at Take Roots Consulting. I help businesses, whether they're small, medium, large, doesn't matter, not profit, public, all of the good things, start telling their stories. Where do they show up? How do they build out those strategies to build that community, create that awareness that they're looking for? And one of the things that we often struggle with, all of us, regardless if you're, in marketing, a certified Giphy artist like Elizabeth, been doing it a long time. It's finding the time to create the content. And hopefully today, what we're trying to do is share with you some tips and tricks to break that down, to save yourself some time and be present, as Elizabeth said, when you're out and about, when you're living your life, when you're in your business. There's lots of things that we forget that are easy to do. Today is, hey, this friend AI plus some B-roll and how to capture B-roll that lives already on your phone. My phone, I'm guilty, over 20,000 pieces of either photos or video on there, but it does equal an awful lot of content. So with that, we've tried to up our game this week, and by we, I mean Elizabeth, in the fact that you've broken down some step-by-steps and actually have some stuff to show us in this fancy dancy little presentation. So as you're over there pushing all of the buttons, Elizabeth, I'm going to jump in and push buttons for our friends that are watching us live on LinkedIn or those on Riverside and on YouTube. So you go ahead and take it away, and I'll start pushing some buttons on my end.
Awesome. I'm going to stop sharing for the moment and just let us talk. Oh, I should unmute. That should be the first thing. So I wanted to just let you see us for just a minute before I jump into that, because I'm going to ask you some questions here in a minute, Stephanie, when we get a chance. Now, first off, I just want to explain to you what B-roll is. So in the film industry and movie making, film video editing, there's A-roll and there's B-roll. A lot of times, if you're doing an interview type thing, A-roll is when the camera is facing you, talking head video. That's the main video that's going through. But a lot of times, if you reference something in that video, it will cut away to showing rather than just telling what's going on. So this happens in movies all the time. So let's take the early morning, somebody getting up out of bed. Rarely do they just film the entire room from start to finish unless they want you to feel really uncomfortable. Like you're stalking, watching someone get out of bed. But no, so they'll give you the setting that, oh, you're in a bedroom, but then they'll zoom in with B-roll and get video of the feet touching the floor and putting their slippers on. They'll show the toothbrush with the toothpaste being squirted on it. They'll show the door handle being opened, but they're zooming in on these like little moments that they can then cut. If you start watching television and movies in this way, you realize that they are cutting and changing the angle at least every 3 seconds, if not less. You think about action movies; it's constant where they're bouncing between the people and the whole scene and up close and the person
Mhm.
sweating and the eyeballs and like they cut through all the things. But I know I'm making this a little bit more complex, but throughout your day, there's ways for you to grab little clips that you can then weave together and potentially do a voice over. And so I'm going to get to that part. But Stephanie, I would love for you to talk to us a little bit about maybe some ideas of what B-roll that you get, whether it's your coffee cups or whatever, but how you think through a day if you're trying to collect your library of B-roll.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. Just want to say, cups up to everyone. Latte has been delivered.
Oh.
And that's always the running joke. Oh, I even have my heart today. Where you
Mm.
see the hand coming in to deliver the latte. That in and of itself could be a whole little mini series of how many times over and over and over, if I just set up my phone and recorded that one hand always dropping off the lattes over the course of the year, how many lattes would I consume? Dare I ask? I don't want to do the math. But I'm trying to not overthink it. If I'm being completely honest, Elizabeth, like I'm not going in there. I'm not a professional videographer, okay? But I do want to grab those moments where I'm literally in it. And again, not trying to make it so perfect. In fact, I would argue that the non perfect content is what's most engaging and resonates so much with people these days that and no shade, my husband is a videographer, so I respect the art and the craft, but for small business owners or people that are doing this off the side of their desk, I think one of the things that stands in their way a lot is this idea that it has to be professional looking. And how do I use all of these different apps to do all of these, as you said, like, the cut to the next shot, or building that. And it's not about that for me. As I said in my intro, I've got tons of content on here that goes way back. And, I've gotten better at, dropping it into folders, pardon me, to be able to go back and go, hey, these are the types of pieces of content I want to create. So still thinking about those content pillars or content buckets when I'm crafting or thinking about the types of B-roll I'm going to capture over the course of a day. But going into the day or the week, knowing, hey, this is what's on my calendar. This is some stuff that I know is going to hit hard, or I'm going to attend an event, or I'm going to listen to somebody speak, or I'm going to go to that meeting, or we're going to do a strategy session, or I'm going to just work on building out some stuff. Lots of times, like it's a one person show, right? So just setting up your phone to capture you doing what you do is pretty cool, because within app, and I know you've got a lot of these tips and tricks you want to share, but within these apps right now, like edits on Instagram, like we talked about last week, they're making it easier for people. They're actually providing templates even within platform so that you don't need to worry about being this polished videographer trying to get these perfect shots and clipping them together. So again, trying to still be me, fully caffeinated Stephanie, out and about in the wild, as I say, but living the life and just grabbing some stuff. Even when I'm out for a long run, I'm grabbing stuff, and then I can do a voiceover afterwards. Thinking about a problem that I solved, or just it's an inspirational saying that you heard, or some great music that's trending right now. And maybe it's a little easier when you live in it every day, but I'm trying to pull people back from it doesn't need to be so polished. It doesn't need to be so perfect. And now you've got some stuff that you want to walk us through to show us like, hey, once you've got this stuff on your phone, how do you put it together? So have I given you enough of a lead up time to get everything ready? Because you have been over there pushing all of.
I am currently still building this presentation while
Oh,
we're
well, good.
talking.
Well, this
So,
is
but
this
I'm
is
ready. I'm
real
ready.
life. It's real life, right? And that's the reality of it.
Uh,
We're all just doing our best. So give ourselves some grace along the way.
exactly.
So let's
Exactly.
work with what you've got and build on it, Elizabeth, because our conversations always go in so many places. This is great.
Okay. So, Steph, can you still see us in the corner?
I can see you.
Okay, cool. Because I can't see you. So, with that being said, Stephanie, please interject at any point or ask questions at any point that people might be asking. Because again, I did this in like the last 10 minutes.
No, will do. And shout out to Dean. He's dropping his famous potatoes
Hi,
over
potato.
on LinkedIn. If you have questions though, people that are following along right now, we know just drop it in the comments, and we'll get to them as best as we can. We do like to keep these conversations rather tight because
Yes.
we know a lot can be overwhelming. And so it's a continuation on about how to build this great library of content you already have. Over to you, Elizabeth.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And if someone has a question, type it because Stephanie can ask me the question like while we're going. So first off, this several pieces of this I have done for a long time, but I will say I was in on a call with Sean Walchef and he added a component to this that has changed the game for me personally as I'm collecting content in this way because I always was saying to people if you're traveling etc it's hard to create content while you're there but still collect content so not only your photos but record like turn on your voice recorder and just record what happened that day. My mom went to Ireland with my aunt and I had told her this idea so every evening she would go because they shared a room together. My aunt was trying to get work done remotely and she would go in the bathroom and turn on her voice recorder and just say we went here today and I saw this and this is how I felt about it. Like it's just she was recording and my aunt was like, who are you in there? Who are you in the bathroom talking to? She's like, myself, my future self. Anyway, so she would collect her memories that way. And so not only collecting the photos, but collecting the moments. So and then adding those together. So that's what we're working on here. AI plus B-roll equals content. So the problem that this solves is that when you capture these clips, these photos, but you don't know what to say about them. Like you're like, okay, I took all these photos while I was in Paris. What do I do with it now? I took all this video while I was at this conference, but I don't know what to do with it now. And so that's the problem that we're trying to solve for you today. And why the method works is that you get to stay in the moment and then you reflect after the day is done. You're not trying to rush to create the content like while you're doing the thing, but AI is used to help shape the story of what you're doing. And this is a system in your hand and you're going to start to see what b-roll you can collect throughout the day. You'll start to develop that muscle, but the system, it removes all the pressure of trying to figure it out and any guesswork to creating content as you go. So the core formula of this is that you capture the moments, the B-roll, the etc., the videos, the photos, that type, selfies, all that. Ask somebody to take a video of you walking up to the door, opening the door, or whatever. But then you're going to reflect on your day. So and record the memories and the moments and the connections and the thing, and then you're going to let AI write the script for you from that Mod Podge. But I had a writing teacher that called it word clay. So we're just gathering word clay and we're going to let AI write the script for it. And then you assemble the story visually by adding this, by reading the script as a voiceover and then adding your clips to it. So Steph, do you have any questions before I get into the detailed nitty gritty?
No, I will prompt you about something else if you don't get to it. And it is in
Sure.
regards to the script piece. And I think you'll know where I'm going with this when we get to that part of
Okay.
it. But keep
Sounds
going.
good.
I'm loving it.
All right. So your step one, we've just been talking about B-roll. So you're going to capture B-roll throughout your day. And what we need you to do is just collecting short clips. So I would recommend the wide shots that set the scene. So we know what city you're in. We know if you're at the beach. We know if you're at a vacation spot or if you're at the garbage dump. I don't know. Whatever the wide shot that sets the scene, just to take a short clip. And all of these only have to be 2 to 5 seconds. Maybe it's cars driving down a street. But even the close-ups of you picking up a cup of coffee, of you writing, maybe set the camera off to the side, showing you typing on your computer. But those moments, if you meet somebody that day or connections with them, always ask them for a quick selfie or a quick video where you guys are talking about like what you're doing that day and you laughing with them, but make sure you're in it somewhere. You see that at the bottom, at least one clip of you in it, because we want to know that you are a part of the story. But we want you to think moments, not perfection. These don't have to be high, like Stephanie was saying, highly polished or edited. Okay, so you're going to collect all of those things in one place, keeping all the clips together, no editing, no organizing, just gather all of that and just remember that it's all in that one clump. One tip I love about this, in your like Apple Photos, there's a places it sorts thing by places, and so you can go and find, if it was a while ago, like maybe you're on vacation, you
Mm.
can pinch and zoom around the world to all these different places that you've been to find the content from that a particular vacation or place that you were at. But it's a way for you to collect that. Okay. So after the day is done, I want you to jot down your highlights. Just bullet point what happened. I went to this place. The reason I was going was because of this. I met so and so there and we had a cup of coffee. And the point of our meeting was such and such, or I saw this thing, we did this thing, etc. So collect all of the things that you don't want to forget. Um, and then the format, sorry, this one didn't get formatted right. It's funny, the word format did not get formatted. But but the way places for you to collect those are voice notes on your phone. You can just hit record and start talking. Apple Notes, you can type in your little bullet points there. You can just use a pen and paper or type it up. Now, for the voice note side of things, I've been combining Apple Notes voice notes, and I'm going to show you in the next slide that you can record a voice note within Notes now. When you're in Notes, there is a little paper clip at the bottom, and now there's a record audio function, and you can just hit the button and just start talking about what happened that day. It does not have to make sense. You can be a hot mess. You can just be bumbled everywhere with it. But then what you're going to do is when you hit this one, let me switch over to this next one. After you've recorded your event, so I did see Steph, I did our day. That's how
That's
I did.
good.
That's how I did the slide deck. I said, okay, here's what I want to talk about. But after you have recorded it within Apple Notes, there's a little three dots right here, and it says copy transcript, and so it copies these words here. So you can use auto transcription. You can have it do that, but I find this faster because it's not having to think about transcribing while you're saying it. You can
Mm.
talk naturally and it'll show you the transcript after the fact. Anyway, so copy the text from that. And then you don't have to do anything to prepare it for AI. This is your raw material. Now, if you write it down, you're going to need to type it in or record it in, like read your notes into Apple Notes recording and grab that transcript because you need a text format for this next part. You're going to go to ChatGPT and you're going to use this prompt. Write a 60-second script in my tone of voice based on these events. And you're going to paste the events that happen in there, and you can add what kind of tone that you want. So, Stephanie, were you going to talk about this part for the AI script side of things?
I was going to, from the script perspective,
Yeah.
talk about, again, the teleprompter piece. It depended on not necessarily using the voice stuff, but I wasn't sure if you were going to, at any point,
Gotcha.
yeah, the teleprompter as a tip.
Yes. Okay. Well, because that's a great way to have like the talking head video side of
Yes.
things. So even if you have it write this script for you, maybe you take the first sentence of it and use the teleprompter feature that Stephanie is mentioning. If you want to talk about that, how you might record a video of just a couple of the sentences, maybe. Do you know what I'm talking about? No, I can't see you. Are
Um,
you talking?
no, I was, I'm multitasking, always thinking about, I'm jumping in over on LinkedIn and interacting with what's going on
Oh,
there as
okay.
we're live. But, but
I'll,
no, I mean,
I'll
what
come.
we just need to remember always, I think the key about when you're doing voice overs. Now I know you're just putting it in the prompt and you're telling them to give a script, but then we're
Right.
bringing that back over and you're going to walk them through how to put it together.
Yes.
Please
Yes.
just remember, if it's not already, because remember, we've been building as we're talking, turn captions on. This is a
Yeah.
key part of it, simply because people are out
Yes.
and about and they might be watching your video and they won't realize that you're talking if the captions aren't on because it's loud and they can't hear it. And if you're giving them some key moments, some key takeaways, some golden
Yeah.
nuggets, you want to make sure that they can see it. So that's just, again, another tip, to remember to turn those captions on.
Brilliant. So, in that light, you're going to open your video editor. I highly recommend the Instagram Edits app if you haven't downloaded it yet, because it has a whole bunch of other features within it. It's free, it's a video editor app, and either you can download the video without a watermark, etc., within it, so you can repost it to other platforms. But it does link to your Instagram account, making it easy for you to share content there. But it also will pull in analytics in a way that you don't see on Instagram. And there's other ways for you to collect ideas for content that you might want to make. So it's a really powerful app if you have not checked it out. Instagram Edits, check it out. Okay, so
So it looks like Elizabeth may be frozen. What I will say is that Instagram edits, we talked about this in a previous conversation. They continue to make it super easy, for the non professional video editor, out there. And when you are an early adopter of anything within a platform, regardless of whether it's TikTok or
it's going to
Instagram,
record past
etc.,
the
that's what
video.
it is. So Elizabeth, I was just filling in because you were frozen there for a moment. So
Oh,
apologies, but I was just talking about, again, you talked about Instagram edits, and it's always great when you can be an early adopter and things, and that they're still
mhm.
getting some nice pushes in there. So again, if people are on Instagram and you're not a professional videographer, as Elizabeth said, these types of apps like Instagram edits and CapCut make it super easy. Go ahead,
Yes.
Elizabeth. We'll try
No,
that one
no.
again.
You're fine. You're fine. I'm sorry that it cut out like that. But yeah, check it out. Okay, so you're going in within your edits video editing app. There's usually a little podcast microphone that's your voiceover button, and so you want to click that and just straight up read the script that AI has given you, and just let it record as far as it can there. And so then you have that in there. And remember, sorry, if because it's your voice, it's your authenticity. It's you telling the story about what happened. Now, an extra step to take here is when you've written that voiceover, if there's specific things that you say in the script and you have a clip for that, move that clip to that section of when you're talking about it. So if you say, I met up with my friend Stephanie for coffee, then add the clip where Stephanie and I are cups up, like clinking in that spot, and then that way you can have it referring to those moments as it's going. But then you can fill the remaining space with extra b-roll. So take the other clips and start filling them in around that. You might need to cut some of them down or adjust the clip speed. Maybe you need just a little bit more video. So there's speed tools that you can slow it down to make the clip longer so that it'll cover that little bit of span of time. Then you're going to export your video. I think people would know how to do that. But then one last step is to go back to where you asked your AI to write the script for you and say, now write a caption for this video. And then this is where you can say, give me a call to action on it, or make it for LinkedIn or make it for Instagram, et cetera, if you want to make them specific to those platforms. And that way AI knows what the video is about because it read the transcript, and it will write a caption for you to be able to share. So the real win here is that you've documented your day, you didn't miss a moment, and you can create the content after living it. And you don't need more ideas, but you do need these systems in place to help you shape how you're collecting the content, because AI plus B-roll equals content.
And the crowd
Stephanie,
goes
maybe.
crazy. But
Oh,
it's so
maybe.
true. And I love it's kind of like when we were setting up for this conversation, it is about this repeatable system. This is how, when we talk about, in other ways, I say like flexing the muscle. That is the repeated system. So now your process, and you're going to put it in place. And the more you do it and that create that habit for yourself, the
Yeah.
faster you get. So when people
Yes.
go, oh my goodness, I don't know, like, oh, there's a new feature on Instagram, or oh, I can't do, which again used to be a good excuse that I used all the time about, I can't edit the videos like, well, again, as I said, between templates that are readily available for you in a lot of the platforms like Instagram and TikTok, to AI helping you create it, and you just being present in the moment, of receiving the information or drinking that coffee by just literally sticking your phone in a corner
Yeah.
or resting it up against a glass of water, having you take that, in that close-up shot of taking that first sip of coffee and how it makes you feel every day. I know you talk about K-pops and I talk about coffee, and together we are Cultivate. But it's exactly that.
Maybe
It's
that should be the name of our show
yeah,
is
right?
coffee and cake pops.
It's kind of good. They go together quite nicely. But that's it. I think it's giving ourselves grace to not worry about the polish. I said it at the beginning. It holds people back. People have heard the term imposter syndrome for so long, and it's like nobody's saying. I'm not saying I'm a videographer that sits and pulls these great things together. I work with a lot of incredible creatives all the time, and I have mad respect for their talents and their craft, and they've honed it up. Well, I'm not going to do that. I know how to put the strategy together. I can see where the story is, and mine is not going to be as polished. It's going to be a little clunky, but even that within the platforms where you can click a button and go, add this cool transition. If you're worried again about it even feeling a little too disjointed as you're putting those clips together, the platforms want you to stay in platform. So they've, over the last 5 years, it's gotten easier and easier to create this type of content that feels like you're connecting to your community, that you're real, that you don't appear one way on social media and completely different when, people meet you out in the wild, as I say all the time. And they need to connect, because at the end of the day, people do business with people, and we need to show up as ourselves. I joke, or half-heartedly joke. I say, yeah, I know I'm not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. First of all, imagine trying to work on projects for everybody. Impossible. People talk about, wanting to just grow the numbers. Well, I've said this for years. If you're not already showing up to serve the people that are there with you right now, that community that you've already built, what are you going to do with more people? If you can't do this part. So focus on this part and starting to do it really well and flexing that muscle, that repeatable system that Elizabeth just took time to walk us through, and be able to flex it and build it, and you get faster and faster and more confident so that you can show up on a regular basis. It just makes it that much easier. Over to you, Elizabeth, as we get ready to what? Wrap it up already?
I know. I feel like I hogged the whole thing though, so I do
Which is
apologize for
great.
that. But so I will say if you go to my socials or whatever, you're gonna see a video of a lady playing the cello, and I used this method to do that one. So
Mhm.
I'll drop the link to it in on LinkedIn, and I don't know if it works on YouTube, but I'll drop the link to it so you can see this in action. I went to an event. I knew that I wanted to be present in the event and not be preoccupied with setting up the shot and doing all the things. And so I got my short little clips of things that I knew I wanted, and then I wrote out what happened and the things I felt while I was there. And then
Mm.
I asked ChatGPT to write that script for me, and I did a voiceover, just threw the clips in there, and it's become one of. I mean, I don't post a whole lot on my own account currently because I have so much client work, but it's become
Yay.
one of my most viewed pieces of content in the recent past. And I was able to use this method that took the pressure off of me having to think of what to say. And it came out really lovely. So I will drop that link in there. I just wanted you to see it in action, I guess. I wanted my slide deck to be so much cooler stuff, and it turned into a
Do you know what?
PowerPoint.
It was still done. And remember, sometimes good
What is
enough
it?
is
Yes.
totally fine. It is the A plus for doing it. Let's not hold ourselves back by trying to make something that is just, hey, if I had had 30 more minutes, could I have done better? Possibly, but this is okay. This is good
Yes.
enough. This gets the message out. And I believe that there's some really good processes in there to help people just start showing up, maybe a little differently, or start using the content that you already have on your phone. Even if, and may I kind of end it with a challenge to anyone who's watching this, whether they're live with us right now or in replay mode. I want you to look at the video or photos that you have taken just in the last week. And how would you recap what you did in the last week in bullet forms, this repeatable system? And then go to your favorite, AI tool. Chat GPT is one that comes to mind, that's often used in my world, and do exactly what Elizabeth talked about, and then post it. Get into it and just post it. Stop waiting. Just stop waiting and start doing. This is the only way we continue to get better, and step out of our comfort zone. This is where we grow. So with that, I guess, Elizabeth, it is time to do our cups up and sign off.
Cups
Oh yeah,
up.
this way. And to say that we hope, this was, again, just a little bit of encouragement to get you to step out and start doing. Tag us, because I love to see what people are working on. And if you have questions, need some more encouragement, reach out to us.
Yeah.
Drop a comment on whatever platform you're watching on. Send us DMs, they're always open. And we'll continue to bring the conversation as frequently as we can, but it's typically on Tuesday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Mountain. So cheers and cups up to each and every one of you. Have a great week.